Seems quiet. Too quiet. Little bad hit storms hit Indy. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. That is what we will be talking about today. I've got a lot of stuff to show you guys. All the parameters you could ever wish. We're going to go over all of them. See if we can figure out exactly what's going to happen. What's going on, Tufts? We're going to go through all of them. Updraft to, reflectivity. Temperatures, dew points, wind barbs. Surface cape. Mix layer cape. Bulk shear. What do we got? Sig Tor. Energy helicity. This is your surface-based cape. Crossover. This is your hodograph. This is your surface-based cape. Winds crossover. We're going to go over everything. We're going to be super nerds. Super nerds. You guys aren't even ready for how nerdy we're about to get. You are not even ready. I'll let some people hop in here. First storm of the season? Wait, what's the first? This isn't the first storm of the season. What's the... I took the Storm Spotter class as a refresher course today. Nice. Nice. When is this going to happen? Tomorrow. We're going to go over our severe weather tomorrow. Hey, I almost got all of our risk zones correct. Oh, of the spring season. I guess so. True. I did say I thought we would have a 2 to 5% tour risk with the SIG 1. Confirmed. I was right about that. I did say I thought we'd have an enhanced, and this is what I mean by enhanced, wind threat 30% with the SIG 1. Confirmed. I was right about that. What? I was wrong about the hail. I actually didn't see much of a hail threat at all. I didn't even think we'd have a SIG 1. I thought we'd have like a slight 15% no SIG. That baroclitic boundary tightened up. So I get why there's a higher, I get why they put a higher hail risk now. Now, knowing what I know now, hindsight's 2020. Sid, you're gonna be all right. We're gonna go over all this. It has. It's been spring for 25 days. But only according to meteorologists. According to anyone who's not a meteorologist and grew up in the American public school system, it's been spring for what? 2 days? No, I mean, I've always, 95% of people go off of astronomical spring, not meteorological spring. It's fair. Some meteorologists go off of is it astrological? No, astronomical. Astrological? I can't. I forget what it even is because I don't go off of it. I can't even remember what it's called because I don't use it. Astronomical. Astronomical. Astrological. Yeah. Most people do use that. Pretty much everyone. All right. So we've got some people in here, guys. So we're going to get started on here. Why is it? One second. Let me get my... Okay. What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? What is going on, TikTok? All right. We have a lot to talk about, but as always, we must begin by... Say it with me. SETI. Rolling the intro. Ow. Take it to the bank, cash it. I'm always right. I've never been wrong about anything in my entire life. Everything I've ever said has come true.
We look a lot at the moon.
There it is. They look at the moon for our winter forecast. We've had 4 or 5 wiener risk zones this week.
We'll do it live. No, we'll do it live.
Daddy needs some coffee. All right.
Bob donated $1,000 and says, Connor, you are the best weatherman, and you're very tall, smart, and handsome.
Thanks, Bob. All right. Well, let's get into the details. I feel like we have enough people in here. Got about 100, getting close to 150, mostly on TikTok, but I love my YouTube crew. Got a whole intro. All right. What do we want to do? Do we want to start? Let's start simple. Let's just start with the outlook. All right. Tomorrow. And just to clarify, because a lot of people don't understand this. I used to be like, our day 2 outlook, our day 3. And people are like, what's day 2? What's day 3? It's going to blow your minds. And chat, I need you to hold on to your seats tightly when I tell you this. Day 1 is today. Day 2 is tomorrow. Day 3 is the day after tomorrow. Okay? I could see an argument for today being day 0 and tomorrow being day 1. But no. Today is day 1. Okay? But I'll stop using that. Or maybe we'll just keep educating everyone. Day 2, that's tomorrow. Guys, if it is 11:59, actually technically I think it switches over later, but I don't care if it's 11:50 p.m. It's about to hit midnight. Day 2, we're still in day 1. We're still in day 1. SBC actually updates it to day 2 at like 3 in the morning or something. But we're still in day 1. So until you wake up in the morning tomorrow, it's day 1. When you wake up in the morning tomorrow, you've entered day 2, but then day 2 becomes day 1. Does that make sense, or am I making everyone more confused? Anyways, here's today, day 1. We don't care about today because today is kind of ending, right? Here's tomorrow, day 2. Here's our categorical risk. All right. I'm going to take a guess at how many people are in here just because I like to guess things. I kind of have an idea because I think I know how many people were in the tornado risk zone. I'm going to say 58 million people. Let's see. All right, 9, 15. Wow, was I really off, guys? 20, 35, 40, 44 million? It's only 44 million people in these risk zones tomorrow. Whatever. 44 million people could be affected by the severe weather tomorrow. Maybe more. You got general thunderstorm risk behind it. Obviously, large. Guys, we're going to get into the details on the severe weather. So if you want to know about it, believe me, I've got like 1,000 tabs open, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty. All right. Marginal, stretching from central to northern, central to northeastern Missouri. You can see here, basically Jefferson City out through St. Louis, all the way through Louisville, Huntington, Morgantown, out through Pittsburgh, getting up there through Erie, Pontiac, Lansing. You guys are kind of creating this right here. Kenosha, Iowa City, right? Large, marginal, 1 out of 5 severe risk. Things start getting more serious once we get into this slight risk. Pretty much all of central to northern Illinois, pretty much all of central to northern Indiana, piece of that kind of southern portion of Indiana. Pretty much the majority of Ohio is in this slight risk, except for southern Ohio. And then that enhanced risk, of course, Chicago, Peoria, I think I pronounced that right, but who knows? Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, some of the big cities in there, Muncie, Lafayette, Valparaiso, South Bend, big cities in there. That's a 3 out of 5 risk there. Let's get into it. Tornado risk. I was right about all my risk zones, except for I underestimated the hail. This is what I thought would happen. 2 and 5% tornado risk zone with the SIG 1. So what does that mean? If you're in the brown, there's a 5% chance a tornado could touch down within 25 miles of your house tomorrow. That's, don't freak out. It's only a 5% chance. So there's a 95% chance nothing happens. And in that 5% chance, it could still be 25 miles away from you. But regardless, knowing, if there's a tornado threat, and if it does, if you're like the super unlucky person, you got to be weather aware, you got to be ready, have alerts on. But I just try to make sure people know, like, just because you're in the center of this tornado risk, the odds are you're still not going to get hit by a tornado. But best be safe. Better be safe than sorry. 5%, 2%. And what this SIG means, this hatch, of course, is we could see up to, if not stronger, probably not stronger, but up to EF2 strength tornadoes. Yeah, I think it's possible to get a stronger than EF2 tornado. The shear and the rotational and velocity shear is pretty impressive in here. I'd say you could even get an EF3, but again, maximum 5% right now. That could change. Getting into wind, this is what I thought would be an enhanced SIG 1, which is kind of what we have, 30% wind risk with the SIG 1 here. We could see damaging winds, hurricane force gusts, hurricane plus 80 mile per hour, 74 mile per hour, but I think 80, 85 plus mile per hour winds through here, especially Chicago, down towards Urbana, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne. You know, this whole area here, this whole area right in here in the red. Stretches out a little bit further to Columbus. I'd be paying close attention. Obviously, Toledo. Again, these risk zones are going to shift as we move throughout the day. Our hail risk, this is the one thing I actually thought we would have like a 5 to 15% with no SIG. But like I said earlier, our Bear Clinic boundary tightened up. We have sharper dew point gradients, sharper temperature gradients, stronger forcing, and we could have some extremely elevated storms. So pretty active day tomorrow, potentially. Let's get into the fun stuff, and then I'll take your questions. Or the nerdy stuff, all right? So thanks for your lives, Connor. Really appreciate it here in Central Indiana. Terre Haute. I hope I said that right. Terre Haute. Chat, help me. Listen, I have diagnosed dyslexia. It's not an excuse, but it is. And I'll die on that hill. Terre Haute. Yeah, Terre Haute. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay, guys. Here we go. This is our kind of cheating, what I like to call, this is our cheating radar right here, our updraft helicity radar. Never forecast off of this because this is going to continue to change. Kankakee. I remember that now. Thanks for the info. In Kankakee, Illinois, not even happy with 5% chance. Yeah. Okay, good. Terre Haute. All right, so here we go. Obviously, you're seeing what you're seeing here, guys. These streaks on the updraft helicity composite reflectivity. This is where we think we could have strong supercells capable of producing damaging wind, large hail, or tornadoes. All this means is strong supercells. Some people look at these and are like, "Oh, that's a tornado." No, this is just a supercell, but that's what can put down a tornado. Obviously, northern Indiana looking a little sketchy. Northern Ohio looking a little sketchy. Central Illinois looking a little sketchy. But let's not look too much into this. Even getting out a little bit to the east into Pennsylvania, look at that. I mean, you got out towards Erie, northwestern PA. But let's get into the details and see what's really happening. First of all, well, here's what I'll do. We'll use this really quickly so you guys can kind of see the timing of everything. Actually, what we'll do quickly so you can see the timing, and then we're going to get into the full breakdown. There you go. I'm supposed to turn off after it runs. One day I will remember, but it's not today. All right, so really quickly, just so you guys know the timing. All right, here we go. Here's the latest HRR. The latest Rufus is running as well. Some strong thunderstorms as we get into around 3 a.m. This would actually be 4 a.m. for you guys out here in Indiana. 4 a.m. Eastern. 3 a.m. Central. This isn't going to be too bad. General thunderstorms. All right. Here's where things get spicy tomorrow. Potentially, as early as 2, 3 p.m., we could have some strong thunderstorms moving into northwestern PA. And then you start to see the storms forming through portions of Illinois. Strong thunderstorms to severe thunderstorms forming through portions of central to northeastern Illinois and northern Indiana, southwestern Michigan, right? We're sitting right at around 4 p.m. Then we're getting into 5, 4. So this would be 4 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, just so you guys know. Move it forward a little bit here. 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. This is when things are really kicking off. So late afternoon, things start to get dicey. Early evening through mid-evening, that's the main event. This is 6 Central, 7 Eastern, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So I would say, just to give us a little bit of space, 4 p.m., maybe as early as 3 p.m. Central all the way to 10 p.m. Central. There's going to be some sort of severe weather out in this area. The height of the event, to me, looks to be like 6 to 9 p.m. But 5 to 7, 6 to 8, somewhere in that time frame. All right, early to mid evening tomorrow. It's going to get dicey. Maybe another second round back there. A little bit of a flash flooding risk as well. So now we're going to start with our temperatures here. What's going on with our temperatures and our wind barbs? And again, I'm going to get to your questions in a second. So let's go to around 5 p.m. What's happening? Well, the first thing that I notice is, here you go. Northerly winds, southwesterly winds. We've got some nice rotation in our wind barbs here. Well, some not so nice, but for severe weather-wise, nice rotation here. Make my thing a little smaller. There we go. You can really see it here. I mean, you can see the wind barbs rotating, and we're going to really look at this in a second. Look at the wind direction here. I mean, there's all this wind is just moving towards it. It's all rotating. Very strong. And where is it rotating? Well, right along our temperature boundary, right along our gradient. So we're going to have a forcing, we're going to have a lifting mechanism for our storms, and we're going to have those storms beginning to spin, causing mesocyclones. Strong, rotating updrafts that form into supercells, big spinning supercells. Definitely possible. And so, yeah. Now, I will say this isn't like the sharpest temperature gradient I've ever seen. I don't think we're seeing like it's severe sinking air and some like insanely like I don't think our lapse rates are that crazy, which is why I'm still a little bit confused at the super elevated. It's not, I guess it's not super elevated hail risk, but yeah, this is a severe setup. Let's continue to look through this. Here's our dew points. If we're pushing 67 to 68 dews up here, you could bet. And let's watch as this progresses. I mean, look at these dew points up here. If this is why I'm a little bit concerned. Do our storms start to pop off a little bit earlier towards 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern? Because guys, you can see kind of this sharp line here with this drier air. This is another lift mechanism, right? This is something else that gets our thunderstorms begin to kind of explode up into the atmosphere. This is a lot of buoyancy, and this is a lot of sinking dry air under it, allowing that buoyancy to rise. So pretty sharp. You've got some nice dew gradients there and temperature gradients. So again, and also on the dew points, we see the same thing with our wind barbs, there it is. I mean, you can literally see the low pressure here. There it is. You can literally see this thing spinning right here. And then you've got winds, northeasterly winds right there, northwesterly winds here, right? Northeasterly winds here, northwesterly winds here. We're spinning along this entire boundary right where our temperature gradient, our dew point gradient, we've got the rotation, we've got significant enough dew points. Temperature, you could have a little bit of sharper, but this will do it. This will do it. And then we're taking a look at our mixed layer cape. Plenty of cape. You can get strong. You can get severe thunderstorms. You can get tornadoes with 800. You don't need 1,600 joules per kilogram. You can get it with 800 joules per kilogram. We're pushing 1,800, 1,900, 2,000 joules per kilogram of cape here. So not a problem. Let's just take a random sounding. This is probably a bad spot to take it. I don't think this will look impressive. No. What does look impressive is the cape. What does look impressive here is the cape. Look at this. Look at that cape. That's a lot of instability. Quick refresher. This line right here is our parcel of air. And this line right here is the temperature of the atmosphere that it's passing up. So that it's rising up with. So if this temperature were to kind of cut out and be like this parcel of air that's causing our thunderstorms wouldn't be able to pass through it. We'd have a cap. We have no capping. No capping out here. Plenty of surface cape. 2,100 joules per kilogram. It's 3 times what we need for a strong severe thunderstorm. And taking a look at our lapse rates. I mean, the surface lapse rates are pretty good. 8.4. That's not a bad lapse rate for hail. That's a pretty good lapse rate for hail. I can't talk. I'll show you where I think soundings are going to be pretty impressive later. We're probably going to have some crazy. Like, let me take a sounding here. There's your rotation on your hodograph. A little bit of inhibition. 1.0 sigtor per am. We'll actually go into our sigtor in a second. We'll take a look at those. Anyways, instability isn't an issue. I did think this would be an issue. Instability has trended up from what I can see over the last 48 hours, which is why we've continued to see this the severe threat trend up. Let me take one more sounding here before I move on. Okay. Taking a look at our surface-based cape. This is where the real lift comes off the surface. Plenty of surface-based cape, not an issue. We have cape from the surface all the way up through the mid layers of the atmosphere. So 3.0 SIG-TOR param, 217 storm relative helicity. That'll cause some violent rotation. 25 knot shear at the surface is more than enough. All right, cape obviously has been trending up. What we're seeing right here is our bulk shear from the surface up to 6 kilometers. So where these storms are forming, if we have at least 60, I would say if you have over 45, over 50 knot bulk shear where these storms are beginning to form, the bulk shear is telling us from the surface up to the 6 kilometer level how much are winds changing with velocity and direction. And you can see here, I'm only looking, do we have over 50? We're pushing where these storms are forming 70, 60, 70, even in some cases trying to push 80 knots of bulk shear. There's going to be severe storms tomorrow. There's going to be severe storms tomorrow. Here you go. Here's your helicity. What's our helicity? So we know we're going to have vorticity. We can see it on the wind barbs. How violent is that vorticity going to be? Indiana looks like it could have some significantly violent rotation. We can see what's happening down here. I'll take a quick sounding off this. You can see the rotation right there in the photograph. Massive amounts of cape. A little bit of inhibition there, but you can see the rotational shear as well. So pretty impressive looking photographs, or pretty impressive looking soundings all together. Here's our SIG-TOR param, and here's where we're gonna see what's if we could find a real crazy sounding. I'm gonna get to your questions, guys, in just a second. One thing I'm noticing, and you'll see this in a second, is if there's one thing we for sure have tomorrow, it's a lot of spin in the atmosphere, guys. Like that, I'm 100% sure of. Instability might be overdoing. I think the instability, the models might be overdoing because I'm taking a look. We've got a temperature dew point gradient. We've got that kind of, we've got that baroclinic boundary, but I don't think it's sharp enough for some of these. Like, I don't think we're pushing what some of these CAPE values are saying. CAPE, convective available potential energy, but this is rotation. This is rotation. I was saying that I thought that the tornado threat didn't look too elevated. Let me think about this. I think we might get a 15%. I think we might get a 15% tornado risk. I think we might get an upgrade tomorrow. And you can see where a lot of this SIG-TOR is, right? Portions of northern central Illinois, definitely Indiana, central to northern Indiana, a lot in Ohio, and then out there toward northwestern Pennsylvania as well. Let me take a look at a sounding here. We're going through this together. I've been working all day, and I wanted to take a look at all this and get my opinion, and then I'll phone a friend. I'll phone Matt and get his opinion. I won't tell him what I said just to see if he disagrees with me or agrees with me. Okay, so here's what I really want to show you guys. Take a look at our photographs. If you don't know how a photograph works, I'll have a video on my YouTube. You can watch it. But basically, if a photograph looks like this, where it's curved, just imagine that being rotation. And you can see what's going on with our photographs out here. We've got a lot of curved photographs. Got a lot of rotation in the atmosphere. Even up here, we have a little bit, right? Down here, down here, down here. But especially through really through here. All right. Getting into surface-based CAPE and our wind crossover. So this is another good thing to look at. What's happening here in northern Indiana? Well, we got 15 knot 15 knot wind at the surface coming out from the north. You go up a little bit in the atmosphere to the 850 millibar level, and suddenly we have 25 knot winds coming out of the west southwest. Go up a little bit further. Now we have west northwesterly winds at 60 knots. So what's the wind doing? It's speeding up with height, and it's changing direction with height. That's what causes tornadoes. You can see it here too, down at the surface. 15 knot winds coming out of the northeast, running into winds coming out of the west. These winds are running into each other as you go up in the atmosphere. Tornadoes typically start like this. There's a rotating column of air on the surface. The rotation starts at the surface, and it's usually horizontal to the surface. Okay? Then you get some sort of lifting mechanism that takes that rotating column of air and it tilts it upwards. You still don't have a tornado because once it's tilted upwards, it needs something to latch onto and it needs the ability to grow and strengthen. Well, what helps it grow and strengthen is continued wind directional change, and velocity change as you go up in the atmosphere. It causes that rotation to become more violent. And you're seeing it here. I mean, you're seeing it here. So northeasterly winds up here in southern Michigan, running into 15 knot northeasterly winds in southern Michigan, running into, what is this at the 500 millibar level? 50, 60, 75 knot winds running directly into each other. We'll have to watch up there. I think that might be a little bit far north. Let me take a look at our tornado risk zone again. I feel like that's going to be a little bit north. You have to remember where these storms are going to form. They're going to try to latch onto the warm front. So if we back up again and we go here, the storms are going to try to latch onto the warm front. But because we don't have too sharp of a gradient here, it's good and bad for severe storms. You've got a lot of area for these storms. Look at all this area to latch onto, right? Once you get up into these greens, you're not going to have storms latching onto that. But this is a pretty dispersed. There's a lot of kind of heat energy. This isn't just a sharp, we're in the 40s up here and then we're in the 80s or something like that. This is kind of a slow, gradual temperature increase here. So there's a lot of areas. I'm not so sure that we may not see our tornado risk shifted a little bit north too, just because there's a lot of areas. There's a lot of real estate for these supercells and tornadoes to latch onto up here to the north. So interesting. Kind of the opposite of that tornado we had go just to the south of Kankakee a couple weeks back. It's pretty dispersed here. I mean, these storms are going to try to really latch on right here along this boundary. This is where if you're going to see a significant supercell, we're going to be watching this area right where you see this sharp temperature line here. So again, you guys know where you are, but I'd say, this area in particular, and I know you're like, oh, you're circling where the tornado. That's one of the main reasons they have the tornado and wind risk here. These are where the strong supercells are going to form. Not just where they are going to form, though, but where they're going to be able to sustain. Because you can get a strong supercell forming up here. It might last 10 miles in weekend. You can get one down here. It's not going to sustain, right? These are where this is where it's going to sustain tomorrow. So, anyways, yeah, this has been trending up a little bit. I want to take some of your questions. I'll give Matt a call in a little bit and get his opinions on this. But that's what's going on. Let me switch over here so you guys can see. Let's go outlooks. This isn't going to be a super long live. We'll be going 30 minutes. I got like I'll answer questions for about 20 minutes here. Let me switch over here. Yeah, let me answer some questions. Still nerding. I feel like I talked for a long time. Super worried about my family in Fort Wayne, Indiana tomorrow. Looks like hail will be a problem too. Fort Wayne's got to watch out, They've got that elevated hail, wind, and tornado threat. As long as they stay alert, they should be fine, As I said, SBC isn't expecting over... Right now with the SIG 1, they're not really expecting anything over an EF2. And EF2 is dangerous, but a lot of times in EF2, if you're in a safe spot in your house, if you're super unlucky... the odds that anyone gets hit by a tornado is obviously extremely rare, even if you're in a high risk zone. But the ceiling being at EF2, if you're in an interior part of your room, if you're in or part of your home, if you're in a basement and stuff like that, a lot of times you can ride those out. I'm a little worried that we could see this tornado threat elevated tomorrow, but I hope I'm wrong. Regardless, it's still going to be the odds of you getting hit by a tornado are small. So as long as you stay alert, you're pretty safe nowadays. Yeah, 5% tornado risk in there. So 5% chance that a tornado touches down within 25 miles of any location in that brown area, any location in Fort Wayne. And then if it does, you could see a significant one. So we're cooked in northeastern Ohio. Could get a little bit interesting in northeastern Ohio. Could definitely get a little interesting in northeastern Ohio. Okay, let me open my window real quick, guys. Give me a second. I finally got a fan for my computer. Another fan to keep it cooler, but I didn't set it up yet. So, can Long Island see thunderstorms tomorrow? Long Island could see thunderstorms tomorrow, 1,000%. I kind of expect it to, but I wouldn't expect them to be severe. Strong, yes. Severe, probably not. Do you think Chicago will cool off before the storms come to make the storms less severe? It's possible. Okay, so they do have this tornado threat up into southern Michigan. Okay, because I was looking at that. Like, they should probably have this thing up into Michigan. So they do have a decent portion of Michigan in here. Okay. Including Detroit and that SIG one. Yeah, I don't see... Chicago's going to cool off right after these storms move out, but it's probably going to be warm enough as they're moving in. You're going to want a little bit of a northerly flow off the you're going to want a little bit of a northerly flow off Lake Michigan, which happens sometimes, and they underestimate this kind of cool flow off of Lake Michigan, and that brings some stability back over to the atmosphere above Chicago. Actually stops a lot of severe thunderstorms from going through, or severe weather from impacting Chicago. So if that happens, yeah, you guys will be good. It's hard to forecast. I don't know where Howard County, Indiana is. We'll look it up. Kokomo. Yeah, I mean, you guys are in that 5% tour risk. You guys are in the most elevated wind risk and hail risk. So you're in the meat of this thing. So just make sure you have your alerts on. Again, I mean, your area, this is looking like it's probably going to be closer to 5 Central, 6 Eastern. Things really could be earlier. I mean, it could be 4 Central, 5 Eastern. But as you get right into the early evening, things are going to start to crank up a little bit. Could get a little dicey all the way through the early morning. What time for northwestern Ohio? Here you go. Could get some strong thunderstorms moving in as early as 3 or 4 p.m. Severe storms look to really kick off. Really, let's call it, to be safe, 4 to 5 p.m. in northeastern Ohio. You've got some strong thunderstorms here. I mean, you could get a severe storm much earlier in the day. I don't think these are going to be as severe, but it's possible. So we're talking 2, 3, 4. But these are the storms we're really watching out here, and this would be around 4 to 6 p.m. when they're rolling into northern Ohio in general, including Cleveland. Middle of western Pennsylvania, east of Youngstown. Very descriptive. Okay, so let's just look at PA, western PA as a whole. So here we go. Some strong thunderstorms moving into northwestern PA at around 2 Eastern. They continue to make their way down into central PA at around 4 Eastern. And then this is when, I mean, these could be severe again. So we need to watch out between 3 and 6 p.m. Eastern. This right here is what I'm more worried about, though. And this is, we're talking about, we'll say 8 to 11 p.m. About 8 to 11 p.m. Tomorrow. Northwest Indiana, closer to Chicago. Biggest threat in your opinion? It's interesting. There's going to be a lot of rotating cells. You know, I feel like I'm more concerned with tornadoes just to the south of that area. But wind and hail. You're going to have an equal threat for wind and hail. These storms that form earlier in the day that are working with clear air that's been, getting some of that day heating. These initial storms could really pop off here. So I'm watching what happens in northwestern Indiana at around, let's call it 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. But there's some more storms that are going to move in behind that. But hopefully your air's a little rain cooled after that and you don't get multiple rounds of severe weather. What about the East Coast Friday, Saturday? I'm traveling from Louisiana. Well, we can just take a look here. This is our Thursday. This is our Friday. General thunderstorms out east on Friday. Just general thunderstorms. Not much going on. Let's switch over here real quick. And let's just take a look at our forecast out here. So here's getting into Friday. Some showers out east. It's general thunderstorms. Getting into Saturday, cool air moves into the East Coast, right? So somewhat decent cool down. Somewhat decent cool down out here, and you're dry Saturday and Sunday for the most part. So Friday is going to be a little bit warm. Some showers out east potentially, at least Friday morning afternoon. But Saturday and Sunday look pretty cool and pretty calm out along the East Coast. No problem, no problem. No, this isn't happening tonight. This is tomorrow. Some general thunderstorms tonight across portions of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Not expected to be severe tonight. So my drive from Wisconsin to Detroit, 8 a.m. leaving, is going to be a bad drive. The whole day, you think. So you're from Wisconsin to Detroit, you're leaving at 8 a.m. You might be able to beat the storms. I mean, things start getting severe at around 5 Eastern, 4 Central. Maybe we'll call it 3 Central, 4 Eastern. So if you leave early enough, especially if you're anywhere in the southern portion of Wisconsin, you may be able to just kind of outrun these storms. But at some point, though, as you get into, I would say, probably northeastern Indiana, southern Michigan, you probably are done outrunning them. The first 4 or 5 hours of your drive could be, maybe first 4 hours could be okay. Could be. Lower Bucks, don't expect severe weather. Some strong thunderstorms, some heavy downpours at times, though. High 80s possible next week in the Mid-Atlantic? I think so. Let's take a look at that. Let's go into our temperature anomalies. Here's our big cool down this weekend out east. Talking 5 to 15 degrees below average for most people. Then our heat starts to creep out east and it sustains for a while like we were talking about. And this is very warm weather. Very warm weather out east. How warm? Mid to upper 70s in the Mid-Atlantic. And then there you go. Look at that. Almost 90 degrees. And northeastern Virginia, portions of central to southern Maryland. This looks like severe weather waiting to happen. Look at this, guys. Look at this. I mean, this is quite the gradient here, isn't it? Central Indiana could be in the high 30s. Southern Indiana could be pushing 80. This is getting into the middle of next week. You better bet we're watching severe weather next week, guys. I'm going to get into more of this after. I already talked about this. But after tomorrow's event, this is going to be what we're focusing on next week. I was doubtful, but it's looking spicy next week. We're not talking about severe weather next week. We're talking about severe weather outbreak. Big difference. Outbreak can bring 100 plus severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. Severe weather, maybe you get 10 to 15, 15 to 25. The Mansfield location on the map in Ohio. We live 30 miles a bit northwest of Mansfield. Single wide mobile home in the boondocks. Should we be finding shelter in a town somewhere from 5 to 9 p.m.? You are 30 miles a bit northwest of Mansfield. Yeah, so you're right up here. It could start getting real dicey around 6 p.m. Eastern. 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after, give or take an hour, right? But 6 p.m. Eastern. And things may not really fully calm down until about 10. That's 6 to 10. Right now, give or take, 6 to 10 p.m. I would expect it to be, if you were to see violent wind or tornado chance, it'd be closer to 6 to 8 p.m. It's up to you. The wind is I'm actually more concerned about the wind because the wind is typically has more widespread impacts. The odds you get hit by a tornado, even if you're in a tornado risk, is extremely small. But once you get into this 30% hatched SIG 1 risk for wind, you can get straight line winds pushing 80 plus miles per hour over a wide area. So I don't know, in this type of situation, I think you should definitely consider going into town or finding something to do that's maybe not in the mobile home to be safe for a little bit. This back end stuff, as we get into around 9-10, this is just going to be heavy rain. This isn't going to be severe. Sorry, you can't see. This back end stuff here, this is just going to be rain. This is the stuff we're worried about right when you get these cells starting to form. So this is 6 p.m., 7, 8 Eastern. This stuff here, 9, 10 Eastern. This is all just heavy downpours. Also, what's your thoughts on Springfield, Illinois tomorrow? Why isn't Springfield showing up on my map? Aren't you guys right here? Oh, maybe. There you are. Why isn't that showing up? Why did I have to zoom in so far to see Springfield? Well, let's take a look. Let's just take a generic look here. Springfield, you're out here in this, even the slight, or, I mean, I don't really care, really, if you're in the slight or marginal if you're this close. You're in that slight risk. They've got you in a 2% hatched tornado, so no hatch for wind, probably no hatch for hail. You are actually a hatch, 15% hatch for hail. Let's take a look at the latest HRRR, how it runs through Springfield. What's our timing? Late. These storms are trying to go through Springfield late. Talking 11 p.m., midnight. To me, that just doesn't look as severe as the rest of these. I mean, we would have to have some random storms popping up to the south. Again, I don't want to just look at future radar, though, and suggest what could happen. But let me take a look at what the Rufus is showing, because it's not looking too bad down in your area. Also, we were taking a look. We did it together earlier. We were taking a look at where our temperature gradient is and our dew points and our most significant rotation. And as I was saying, guys, most of that's up here. So I'm actually not overly concerned about Springfield. Have alerts on. Be aware of what's going on. But I'm not super concerned with kind of this area down here. Doesn't mean something couldn't happen, but I'm a little bit more worried about these areas to your north and east up here. Even if you get something that far down, that far south, I just don't think it sustains. Brittany, Lima, Ohio here. I'm terrified of tornadoes. Well, you know what? Luckily, you're only in that 2 to 5% chance. The odds that you get hit by a tornado tomorrow are extremely low. But make sure you have your alerts on in the extremely, extremely rare case, and extremely, extremely rare unlucky case that something's headed towards you. Have your alerts on. Again, this is only a SIG 1. As of right now, this moment, we're not expecting any EF3, EF4, EF5 mega deadly tornadoes. We're not expecting that. Tornadoes that could do damage to roofs, power lines, trees. A rare EF2 with the SIG 1 is possible. Just keep your alerts on, but don't freak yourself out. Yeah. I'll be covering a portion of this tomorrow as well. Mesomat, MESOMATT. My friend will be on covering this. There'll be lots of people on covering it. All the normal people. Max Velocity, Ryan Hoyle. I'm sure they'll be on. You'll have a heads up in the extremely rare, occasion that maybe you actually have to get into a safe spot. But again, the odds are pretty low. Yo, Random Cowboy. I was probably an hour late on that, y'all. I appreciate you, though. I've really fallen off, haven't I? Udabella, Mason, Maddie, Jasmine. Yalibi. You know what it was is all of these gifts weren't even showing up. I just had to scroll up. They weren't even on my screen. Yarn. Marissa. A John. Sheesh. Yali, I appreciate you, Yali. Yali, I appreciate you. Day one, Yali. With the Galaxy. I might use that to get myself a second fan. Because this bad boy's probably going to need two. My computer loves to set itself on fire while I'm streaming. My new office, my new setup will probably be done in a month. That'd be cool for you guys to see. Guys, I'm going to try to get out a video very early in the morning. I've got a big presentation for work tomorrow at 10 a.m. that I need some time to prepare for in the morning, so I'm going to have to get myself out of bed super early if I'm going to get that video up. If I don't get the video up in the morning, that's why I wanted to make sure I was on tonight, though, to go over all this. If I don't get that video up in the morning, I will be live streaming tomorrow. And I'm going to try to get on kind of towards the height of this event. So right now it looks like I'll probably be getting on around 5 to 8 p.m. just based on what the radar's showing me right now, when these storms could really kick off. But yeah, again, if you're in the Discord, you'll know if my video is uploaded. You know when I'm getting online. All the updates will be in there in the morning for you guys. If you guys don't know, Connor's Climate Corner, just add me on Discord. I promise you it's the coolest weather Discord you'll join. All weather updates are in there. Severe weather, temperature outlooks, precipitation outlooks, tropical weather, climatology. Everything's in there. You can also go to any of my YouTube videos and just click on the link in the description. You're automatically in. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you money. It only costs me money. For now, it is free. Although for people who I've said this, for people who are in it free, I'm like, you're just grandfathered in. I'm never gonna if someday in the future I decide I'm tired of paying for so much money for my Discord, everyone who's in the Discord now is never gonna have to pay a dime to be in the Discord. Even if I do end up monetizing it, it's gonna be like $2 a month. So it's just something that there's a lot of good resources in there, and I just can't find. I obviously need to monetize some things because streaming and doing all this stuff costs a lot of money. The software, the editing software, the weather software, the equipment. But that's something, the Discord, there's just a lot of important information in there that I just don't feel like it's right to monetize. So it's free, and there's good information in there, and almost 700 weather enthusiasts in there you can talk to. So I've got to do another merch giveaway, and I said I was going to do it in this stream. I'm honestly just out of it, but we'll get the merch giveaway this week, and we'll vote on who the best meme was, because we got some good memes in the meme channel on Discord. So we're gonna do another merch giveaway, and we also got to get out the spring merch as well. We should actually include that. Yeah, B, we got to find some time to do that, maybe this weekend. All right, Has the algorithm been weird for you? It's been very weird for me. Yeah. Very, very weird for me. I know the numbers I'm supposed to, like, I've had times where I was averaging 3 to 4K views a video on my YouTube, which is good. That's like half of my subscribers. And like my last couple videos got like, I think I had like 80 views after 6 hours, which is crazy bad. But I look at the actual statistics and my click ratio is really high. My average view duration is really high. All the things that are supposed to be really high are really high. But I'm not getting, but YouTube's not pushing it out. So it's weird. Like that YouTube says, if this is really good, this is really good, this is really good, your videos are going to do really well. And I check all the boxes, but they're not, my videos aren't getting impressions. So the people who watch my videos watch them for a long period of time and seem to enjoy them. I have like a 98% like ratio across my accounts since I created them. But I'm not getting the impressions. And I'm not paying to promote them. I don't feel like paying to promote them. I've tried promotions. I did them for a period of time, but like, YouTube's supposed to be paying me. I'm not supposed to be paying YouTube. Let's just say it like that. But that's just how social media is. It comes in waves. My TikTok like fell off for a while. I had like I have like 130K on there, and I was just getting like no views. Like no one was seeing anything I posted for a while, and then out of nowhere it picked back up. I don't know. The algorithms are weird. I always think I have them figured out, and then I wake up the next day and in a video I post gets 2 views, and I'm like, guess I don't have it figured out. Guess not. Yeah, we're gonna get together. We're gonna figure out that spring merch. Yeah, but I'll text you. We'll figure out a time. Yeah, forever changing. That's the problem too. And these algorithms are switching companies too. I feel like niches get silenced or something. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of the larger weather creators tend to pull most of the viewers in, and then there's a little bit of we're not going to get into the details, but there's a little bit of all of my thumbnails are screenshots of models. Like I don't like create any artwork or fake visuals for my thumbnails. I like go to a model and then I'll like be like, I'll like take a screenshot. I'll like go whoop. I'll take a screenshot of the model and I'll use that as my thumbnail. And then I try to put what we're actually talking about in it. I, for a while, because I was like, I'm not getting views, I need to try this, I feel like too clickbaity and was doing too much. And I got more views and then I felt guilty on it and I pulled back. So like my thumbnails, like yesterday said severe setup. It's a struggle being a content creator because I just don't want to be that clickbaity person. So like severe setup with a screenshot of the instability, the severe part, and an arrow pointing to where it is. I didn't say, watch out, danger, never before seen, insane, must see, right? Severe watch, major winter storm. That was very true. Significant tornado threat. There was. Stay alert. But like, so I've been trying to really like not do. I don't want to be clickbaity at all. And since I've stopped being clickbaity, or I don't think it was ever too much, but I felt like I was getting too clickbaity. Since I pulled back from that, my videos are getting less views. But at the end of the day, I would rather not post ridiculous, not copy and paste the same exact thumbnail every day with the same exact 2 words on the thumbnail with ridiculous artwork all over it. I would rather not do that. I'd rather do this and get less views than sell myself out. So I'll take less views. I think eventually people will, get tired of that crap. So we're gonna stay away from it. Not gonna name any names, but we're gonna stay away from it. We are going to stay away from it. Because there's definitely some days where I'm like, I 100%, because I can make some, I can make, there's some days where I'm like, I could make a thumbnail and put a title on this that's going to get a ton of views. And there's been times where I almost publish it and I'm like, I can't do it anyway. I can't do it. It's just too, I can't be a part of the problem. You can't complain about it and then become a part of the problem. Yeah. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna try to get up and I'm gonna try to get an updated video up in the morning, guys. And then if I don't, which I probably will, I'll be streaming. I'll be on when very likely when these thunderstorms begin to kick off. I'll be covering this. All right, Yali, I appreciate it. Yali with the back-to-back galaxies and a cowboy hat. Yali, you're the best. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my mods. I'll be on tomorrow. We'll be covering this, making sure everyone's safe. And then from here, things get actually potentially, we could see 3 to 4, maybe even 5 days in a row of severe weather like this, back to back to back to back next week. Hopefully not, but the very aggressive setup. Classic. We get into spring and it happens. It's exactly what you'd expect to see in early spring. April and May, or early April and May are typically when we see the most frequent and the worst severe outbreaks. So of course we're getting into April and we're expecting just an absolute ridiculous week of severe weather next week. We'll get into that. So what time will I be streaming? I'm going to be watching the radar, and if I start to see some what look like violent supercells beginning to initiate around 5 p.m., I'll try to get on 5. If it's like 6:30, I'm not really seeing much. We got like 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, nothing significant. I'll probably wait because like I'm trying to spend more time on work, more time with my family. And so like I'm trying to, like I want to be on when it's really important for me to be on. Since I'm not doing this full time yet, when I'm doing it full time, I promise you I'll be streaming all day events. But since I'm not doing it full time yet, I'm just trying to find, okay, when do people need me to be on the most? So I think that's going to end up being between like 5 to 7, 5 to 8, 6 to 9 tomorrow. So, but like I said, I'll keep everyone updated in my Discord. And if there's tornado warnings that are starting to pop up, you should expect me to be online. Yep, 5 Central, yep. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic night. Stay safe. Stay updated, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Yali, I appreciate you. All my mods, I appreciate you. Everyone in chat, any new followers, subs, I appreciate you. See you guys. Night.